If you've ever
A show, NASA is communicating with the extraterrestrials. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. Now, of course, communicating with extraterrestrials, aka demons, is something that, well, even the most known celebrities do. Your president of the United States does it. The president of all these countries do it. The leaders of all these countries do it. I mean, Tom Cruise does it, right? Barry Manilow probably does it. We know Lady Barfbag does it. I mean, she's even been caught doing it in bathtubs and hotel rooms that are covered in blood. But NASA's communicating with extraterrestrials, of course, and the zombies buy this stuff up because they're not, summoning demons. They're sending messages into space. And what kind of messages are they sending? Well, they're sending nudes to the aliens.
Welcome to You Curious, your ultimate space for mini science documentaries. Upon discovering the existence of intelligent life beyond Earth, the first question we are most likely to ask is, how can we communicate? We are in 2022 now, and the question feels more urgent than ever. NASA is planning to do so, through binary signals outside Earth's atmosphere, to attract extraterrestrial intelligence. An updated, binary-coded message has been developed for transmission to extraterrestrial intelligences in the Milky Way galaxy. The message includes basic mathematical and physical concepts to establish a universal means of communication, followed by information on the biochemical composition of life on Earth, the solar system's time-stamped position in the Milky Way, relative to global clusters. The project is known as the Beacon in the Galaxy, and it shows the various diagrams related to biochemistry of life on Earth, and 2 cartoons of the male and the female body, with exposed genitals.
That's right, nude photos of humans. Now, this isn't actual news, they're just drawings of what naked man and naked woman would look like. But it is ridiculous on so many fronts. People actually comment on this and they're like, let's give the aliens some information on us as if it's real, but let's give them information on us so they can know more about us. And I mean, it's like right out of Independence Day, of the people standing on the roof waiting to be zapped. Because remember, everything that happens with aliens, of course, I'm talking about demons, whatever you'll end up seeing, whatever will be brought to the forefront, torn through the veil, is all obviously part of their plan. But the extra part of it is going to be a massive, massive psyop. Now, people believe it's going to be Project Bluebeam. They could obviously do an EMP fake thing with the aliens. Oh, the aliens, they zapped out our electronics. Oh, everyone will be like, oh my goodness, can we meet them? Can I take a selfie with one? Oh man, we in trouble. So in the 1970s, humans beamed their first message to extraterrestrials into space, known as the Arecibo message. The transmission was a binary coded communication containing basic pertinent information, including a stick figure of a person, representations of DNA, our solar system, and a graphic of the telescope that sent it. The message was sent as a radio signal to a target about 25,000 light years away. Now, after 50 years of technological advances, NASA researchers have updated the message in a preliminary study published on the preprint server ARXIV. And you can see here first, they're giving out, we want to send a message in a bottle in the cosmic ocean to say, hey, we're here. Study author Jonathan Jiang, an astrophysicist at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory. I love these. I just love all the terminology that scientists at NASA use, because everyone just hears it and they're like, whoa, that's really impressive. Meanwhile, a lot of these massive places like NASA are just fronts for laundering. That's what they are. They're government fronts. They're CIA fronts for laundering. They've used NASA before as a front to launder in drug money that they've trafficked through Mexico and other countries. They use all these other companies to front in the money that they make from child trafficking. These are the 2 biggest businesses that there are in the entire world. This is how you see some of these people, and you're like, how are they so rich? Where does the money come from for some of these people? Boy, would they invest money? Some of these guys who are artists, I was talking about on the website yesterday, I messaged somebody, just about how artists are, they're so creative and they're worth so much money. And these people go to these art galleries and they drop, $75,000 at a blink of an eye on something that looks like a 2-year-old could have drawn. And people don't realize what it's for. Well, they go home with the painting. They have that, the document. Hey, I paid $75,000 for this. Look, here it is. I show you. Nobody can put a worth on it, because it's like if you try to buy a laptop as a front for buying a child, somebody would be like, whoa, you can't pay $75,000 for a MacBook. They'd be like, something's going on here. It's suspicious. But art, you could put whatever price you want on it. It's a front. And of course, they use those pictures that they end up getting, the artwork that they end up buying, as a trophy, so to speak. So anyway, I'm going off track here, but NASA's always been a front for many different things. And of course, we know that they don't do anything as far as, quote unquote space goes. We haven't supposedly been to the moon since we went to the moon the first time, which is pretty hilarious. But this guy, anyway, is a astrophysicist at Jet Propulsion Laboratory in California. And he says, even if we're not here some years, he says, even if we are not here some years later, the new message called The Beacon in the Galaxy conveys more information about mathematics and science, a map of the Earth, and more detailed male and female human figures, as you could see, the structure and composition of the Earth, and an invitation to apply. I mean, the human race is such an embarrassment already. They've taken God's creation of what man and woman are, and they've just completely inverted it, humiliated it. People's behavior is so embarrassing. They're just cracking up. The elites get a kick out of this, of what they've done to society, on top of what they have planned to do. And they already destroyed society, but they really want to just wipe all of us off the face of the earth. And people hear this, and I read the comment sections underneath these videos, and they're like, I don't know if it's a smart move, but it's a very interesting concept to send these things to the extraterrestrials, but we should be careful and let nature take its course. And what? What are you even talking about? These people make fun of us for believing in God. Meanwhile, there's existence of God everywhere, and there's certain places and certain actual people, like they based Indiana Jones after real people, like Wyatt, who went out there and found Noah's Ark, and he found what's believed to be the remains of Sodom and Gomorrah in Saudi Arabia. I mean, very interesting things. And then you wonder why those areas are gated off and those stories never come to fruition, because they want you to believe the Bible's fiction. If in school they taught that they found these places, oh, look, we found, here's the place. We're going to go on a field trip, everyone. We're going to Saudi Arabia. We're going to see Sodom and Gomorrah. People would believe it was real. But instead they hide all that because they hide God from everyone, and they try to fictionalize it. And then they make all this other crap up to convince people of what they have planned, which would be aliens coming to accept the aliens, of course. What do you think all this stuff with acceptance and tolerance is, right? Even the aliens are coming zapping people, or whatever whatever they've planned with the show. The demons will be coming running around going, right? And people will be like, let me be your friend. You want to take a selfie with me? Let's play Pokemon, right? I mean, just, can you imagine what it's going to be like? I mean, I'm going to be sitting there I'm beyond, but, it's unbelievable. So they do stuff like this. Like, we're beaming up a map of the Earth. Well, if aliens were really up there, and people are seeing UFOs in the sky, so that's the evidence, apparently, of aliens. Nobody believes, by the way, that any of these things they see in the sky are being done by the CIA, because they don't know how advanced their technology is. And you'll see in the comment section, I always get comments, you're wrong about the aliens. I've seen UFOs. It's like, no one's saying you didn't see stuff in the sky. But guess what? Demons are real, so if you had some dream that you were possessed or taken somewhere, that's very likely it could have happened, and you might have seen stuff in the sky. But guess what? The Central Intelligence Agency, the FBI, all these places, these government agencies have been doing this forever, and their technology is way far more advanced than an airplane that we see, a United Airlines plane flying out of LaGuardia. Okay, or LAX. I mean, really. Yeah, they can do all these types of inverted moves, just crazy things that you see these so-called UFOs do. But anyway, so people believe who see that, and then others are like, oh yeah, I believe it because, it makes sense because there's all this space and there's these planets. I mean, they just believe whatever they hear. And they're like, well, there's science behind it. What's the science? You saw some pictures that they created in a studio? And then they come on TV and they have guys in a white suit say words you don't understand, so you think it's real all of a sudden. And then you think, oh, we're sending them mathematics, a map of the Earth. Well, if they're up there, supposedly, what would they need a map of the Earth for? Couldn't they see it? They didn't even think of that? Oh, they need a detailed male and female human figure. I mean, oh, they don't know what male and humans look like? I thought they were hovering over us and around us, according to the quote-unquote government documents that are being released. They'll release those documents, but they won't tell you what really happened to JFK. Right? Well, yes, we're releasing these documents. Anytime the government's releasing any documents that they're calling secret in the past. It's because they've been baiting people. Oh my gosh, they're finally going to tell us the truth. The truth after all these years. The government's never going to tell you the truth, ever. You know why? Because they hate you. They want to destroy you, and everything they do is inverted. The government works for Satan. What is Satan? Who is Satan? We all know who Satan is. He's the scum of the earth. And he's also the master of lies. He's been a liar from the beginning. So all these people and agencies that work for him because they worship him are never going to tell anyone any truth. So whatever you hear, constantly believe the opposite, like I've been saying my entire life. Goes to the CDC, FDA, what they tell you on TV to do or not to do. Sure, they'll put some truth out there, but they'll, the Department of Homeland Security will tell you some stuff going on with the grid or other things like that to let you know, oh, it's a possibility. They want you to, know that these are possibilities, but whatever solutions they have are the solutions they want to force upon you. So going off track here, you can see some of this stuff, binary decimal systems, they're sending them male and female figures, so they're sending nudies, the structure and composition of the earth, and like I said, an invitation to reply. I mean, yeah. Please write back. I mean, what kind of idiots read this? They're like, maybe the aliens are going to answer. Right? Meanwhile, NASA, the people there, I'm sure in the higher up circles at NASA, they're communicating with demons every day. Oh boy. So researchers created this as a bitmap, which is a way to use binary to create a pixelated image. The motivation for the design was to deliver the maximum amount of information about our society and the human species in the minimal amount of message. So with improvements in digital technology, we could do much better than the original message, which was sent in 1974, like I said, which was stick figures. But I mean, these illustrations don't look that much better, right? I mean, look at this. So if the aliens are up there with their own two eyes and they can see supposedly these beautiful photos that we have that NASA's provided us of the world all the time, right? That we see everywhere, every day, in every single form of programming to convince everybody about many things. They're going to send this one that looks like it's from Atari. I mean, is this from the, Pac-Man has better graphics than this. But yes, we're going to send this up to the aliens so they have an idea of, and of course, we'd always, say the aliens were blind, why not give them a map of our planet, because they're, of course, our friends. I'd be like, what we see going on in the war, right, with Zelensky. Oh, they're coming to try to kill me. I don't trust these people. I'm a number one enemy in the world of these people, these horrible people. Here's where I am. I'm taking a selfie out in the streets. What? All right, because we live in a world where nothing makes sense and no common thought is used. So this guy was Hawking, of course, who I've covered, Stephen Hawking, that demon. He says, in 2015, we don't know much about aliens, but we know about humans. If you look at history, contact between humans and less intelligent organisms have often been disastrous from their point of view, and encounters between civilizations with advanced versus primitive technologies have gone badly for the less advanced. He's probably talking about what's happened when they've summoned some of these demons over. The authors make suggestions for when, where, and how the message should be delivered. They propose the message should be sent to a region. I'm laughing because the Milky Way, about 13,000 light years from the galactic center. Right? It's another thing that you gotta love, right? The distance of all these places, light years away. Right? But it travels at a different pace in light years than what? They literally probably have 5-year-olds write stuff down and that's completely nonsensical. And then they take it and they're like, let's push this on the American people. They'll believe it. And they're right. They will. They will. They could go up there and say there's a turd monster walking around the moon. And people will be like, if there's a turd monster, whoa, cool. I would be surprised next year if they try to convince the world the Easter Bunny's real. And people will be like, he is real, the liberals. He is real. Who put the eggs in my tree that I went and found out in my yard? Right. So they propose the message should be sent to a region in the Milky Way 13,000 light years from the galactic center. Previous research has shown this area is the most likely for life to have developed. I'd love to see what that research is. Is it on a post-it? On somebody's desk? Look at the pictures. The guys, I don't know if the guy's got a, oh man. Why don't they send him a picture of the Baphomet? So if aliens were real, they would know what's going on here on Earth with all the human Baphomets we got walking around with breasts and a penis. So researchers say the message should be beamed out on either March 30th or October 4th. So it would have been beamed by now if they did, and apparently they did. So when the Earth is an optimal angle and should be sent from the SETI Institutes, nobody cares in California because it's not real. The message's ultimate goal is to start dialogue with the extraterrestrial intelligence, no matter how far in the future that might occur. Humanity has, we contend, a compelling story to share and the desire to know of others, and now has the means to do so. Oh, only in America, right, folks? The goal is to start dialogue with the extraterrestrials. Meanwhile, you want to start dialogue with the demons, I mean, there's lots of ways to do it. You show us in every movie for the most part, in every board game, every video game. I mean, why don't you just call up, I don't know, I mean, at the top of my head, I mean, Lady Barfbag's one of the first. Call up Billie Eilish. She'll tell you how to contact the demons. I mean, she's got one living in her. Unbelievable. It is just unbelievable what we're living amongst. And remember, they claim it's the smartest time period, but you got to remember, they claim like we're the smartest, the species that we've evolved so much. I mean, it's unbelievable. 99% of the population couldn't start a fire on their own. 99% of the population wouldn't know that they can't drink seawater unless they distill. I mean, 99% of the population would perish without technology and Google search because they don't know how to do anything. So, we have that, but then they come out and do stuff like this because they invert everything. Everything is the opposite. So they have this everyone in the Matrix who believes this stuff literally is living not just a lie. Everything in their life, for the most part, except maybe their personal relationships, is a lie. Everything. Amazing. So NASA's sending nudes to communicate with ET, apparently. I'm sure ET will send a nude right back, and there'll probably be some type of fetish. There probably already is a fetish in this country for that, because it's a sick world.